We have just finished watching All Things Switch 2. Many questions were answered, and we have many more. I am joined with the one and only Despawn, and of course, Crash. Hello, boys. Nintendo has done Nintendo things, as they always do, which confused the hell out of me. We got new game reveals, we got price points, we got a few more details on this beautiful console. Where would you like to start, Despawn?
Let's start at the beginning. Should we start with the Switch itself?
Sure, that works.
I feel like let's start with the positives.
The positives, 7.9 inch 1080p LCD screen, HDR support up to 120 FPS. How are we feeling about display? Crash, what are we thinking?
I think it's fine for the Switch. As far as like the display goes, I don't know if I really care for the display personally, but I think it's fine. I think what you have there is fine for what it's supposed to do.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I very rarely use my Switch in handheld mode like yourself, so that's kind of where we come down on, like, do we care? I kind of do. I like the fact that it's bigger. I mean, I would have loved for it to have been 4K. And I would have loved for OLED, but I guess that gives them room to make an OLED system. But yeah, I enjoy the way it looks. I like the bigger screen. I like the HDR support. And I am happy about the frame, especially for games. Despawn, where are you at when it comes to, you play handheld a lot with a lot of different systems. So how are you feeling about the screen and things like that?
I think for the first entry point for the Switch 2, I think it's a good starting point. I think, like you say, it gives them a lot of wiggle room in the future. But yeah, I think having that slightly bigger screen, making it 1080, is good. Again, shame it's not an OLED. But I understand, like you say, OLED version in the future. Get that Pro model out there. The fact that it's going to be 4K docked is cool. So for those that care, but I think 1080 for a handheld is perfectly fine. I think the bigger exciting point for me is the higher refresh rate, so 120 FPS is a big. I think is a big win on this one. So yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Controllers, obviously, we got the new Joy-Con magnetic controllers, larger buttons. It is also a mouse, which I'm sure we'll go into a lot more detail about because they mentioned it a lot during this showcase. I like the look of the new Joy-Cons. I do like the bigger buttons. I do like the magnets as well, because I used to hate having to detach my Joy-Cons constantly. They were awful. So I'm interested to see how that works, how breakable it is and things like that. But overall, it looks like, again, it's the Switch 2. It's an upgraded version of the Switch. It's delivered so far in all the things that it wanted to do. Are you happy with the Joy-Cons and stuff, Gresh?
Yeah, I think so. Joy-Cons are another a lot of the Switch 2 handheld stuff and that stuff, I don't really play with the Joy-Cons as well. So it's it's really cool changes, and I think they're great. I think it's a lot of really nice improvements, like you said, stuff you'd expect from a Switch 2. It's just not stuff that even when I get a Switch 2, I don't know how much I'll interact with those things as well.
Well, we'll get to a Pro Controller soon, mate. Calm down.
Yeah,
calm down.
I'm sorry.
Despawn, Joy-Cons 2. How you feeling about them?
Yeah, no, good. Again, it's all max improvements. I mean, the big one is, we're not going to mention it in here, but hopefully the fixed Joy-Con drift that was in the Switch 1. I think the use of magnets is a good upgrade to the clickable connector from the Switch 1. I'm interested to see how long that magnet power lasts in comparison. The bigger side buttons, when you use it, use the Joy-Cons as a side controller, is a blessing. Trying to use those Z buttons as a side-on controller was terrible on the Switch 1. So yeah, the bigger buttons being steel is great. I'm interested to see how that long term how that feels. But yeah, it looks like all great improvements. And the mouse controls gives them a lot of extra options to what they can bring to the Switch. So I'm interested in that.
They spoke a lot about the mouse control, and it's weird because I X'd out, I find it weird saying that. I tweeted out that, I'm super excited for Nintendo Showcase because, Xbox have moved towards PC day and day. PlayStation obviously moved in that direction. Nintendo, the only company out there, not really worried about PC. Then you've got two Joy-Cons that act like a mouse, that can be a mouse. I'm like, they are moving the PC way, just their own way. They've been very Nintendo about it. Which I'll be honest, I don't hate. I don't think it's a terrible idea from them. It allows for certain games to be ported over with a lot more ease. Obviously Civilization's one that got mentioned during this showcase, but plenty of other games, which it just gives you that option now as a Switch player. I don't know if it's something that I'll use too much, other than, again, some of the games they showed off, and we'll get into them later, Mario Party being the big one. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting feature to have. I'm glad it's there. It's one of those things where we regularly get asked questions about game consoles, right, guys? And the number one thing is like, what would you want in a console? I would never have said, I want my Joy-Con to be a mouse. But now that it's here, I now can't unsee it.
Yeah. Now I need it. Yeah, I need to try it. I need to get. I didn't get one of the hands-on events, but I need to get hands-on with this. Just to see how it feels.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like, I really you do 100% need to see how it feels before you put any sort of judgment on it. Before you're like, I hate it, I love it. I'm like, I don't get it right now. It's just what it is.
Like, it exists. It exists.
Yeah.
As a concept, it makes sense. Giving that ability to offer different control schemes and bring more games to the Switch that can use that. So you typically get, I'll just throw it out there, Baldur's Gate 3 on a Switch at 4K 120.
Mad.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could happen.
And you could have your mouse controls in there. What I would say is the way that it looks, the Joy-Con is very slim. They showed it in the thing. The Switch itself, all docked together, it is still the same width as your Switch 1. So I'm wondering how comfortable it's going to be to use that Joy-Con as a mouse long term.
Well, it opens up the path for them to release a special mouse Joy-Con controller thing.
Yeah.
We got a camera, and we'll talk about that in a second. Storage, we're looking at 256 gigabytes of internal storage. It is expandable with micro SD cards. Despawn, you'll probably be the person to push to this perfectly, because I don't understand what the specialness of this new SD card is, so talk to me.
So it's the SD Express cards. They're basically used for faster data transfer. Similar to, the way we talk about them a lot, like Xbox, and how their internal SSDs are custom built to be able to transfer data faster. It's similar to that, which is why they're not going to be able to use the original Switch version of the SD cards.
So do we know roughly how much more these cards are going to cost?
We know exactly.
Is that
they're on the UK store at the moment? I think, if I remember correctly, it is £69 for an extra 256 gig. So it's not terrible, not terrible at all. And I think they are, like you say, that's the branded one that's officially from Nintendo, and your third party ones are roughly around the same price anyway, so around £60 for that kind of storage size.
Yeah, not bad at all. I'll try and get a 1 terabyte and then be done with it.
Exactly.
Connectivity, like we said before, 4K supported when docked. We've got enhanced speakers and a more stable stand. So first things, we'll start with the kickstand. Obviously, the kickstand now a lot more flexible in how you can use the Switch while in handheld mode. Especially planes and things like that. This is super important. The kickstand is in what they showed was you can lay it down pretty much flat if you wanted to. And I've been on plenty of sun lounges wanting to just have it at the end of my sun lounger while gaming and not been able to. So this is a very welcome thing. I know it's a small detail, but it's actually very welcome from me. I'm happy about the kickstand and things like that being more stable and flexible. Enhanced speakers. I don't really use the speakers on these things ever. But again, I do understand the three of us may not be, and I think that's my biggest takeaway from the entire showcase. Just because it might not speak to me, or it might not speak to me or Crash or Despawn, it does speak to some people. But yeah, enhanced speakers and 4K, obviously, which is the huge thing when docked. Are we expecting many games to be running in 4K? Because I'm not expecting much. I've got to be honest.
No, it's going to be when the new generation came out and it was all 4K, 8K, whatever marketing was. You got 1 or 2 games that were backwards compatible that came from the last gen that did that. And then everything after that was mainly it might struggle to do that. And I think it's going to be the case here.
I feel like this is more of a future proofing than a day one launch thing. I think once people get hands on with the dev kits and start realizing what they can do with it, and then like as games get easier and easier to make at that level, you'll start seeing them there. But I think they're setting themselves up because, like I say, we've talked about how well the Switch One did. Like, I think it sits at like 158 million like sold compared.
Mad.
Like, it's the second best-selling console of all time, and they're doing everything right to make this the best-selling console of all time. Like, so I think it's a future-proofing thing rather than a day one everything's going to be 4K 120. But like talking to that, they had said obviously HDR as well, which again another future-proofing thing, just making everything look better. But for me, it's always going to be like that 2 years down the line when we get that OLED model, and OLED HDR at 4K 120 is just that you can just take to the beach. Oh,
We'll see.
the
We'll
dream,
see.
right? The dream right there.
We finally figured out what this new C button is on the Joy-Con. It stands for Game Chat. It allows you to do voice chat and video calls and screen sharing with other people. The features behind the Nintendo Switch Online service. It kind of looks like a Discord call, pretty much built into the Switch. It's a strange feature, I'll be honest. It's a very Nintendo thing to do. But again, I sit here as a 32-year-old man who uses Discord every day while gaming and things like that. From a kid's perspective, and again, that's kind of where I'm looking at this from, or a family member that wants to, their dad works abroad and he wants to still see his kid but game with him. Stuff like that, I see this being really good. For the everyday user that's a quote-unquote gamer, I don't think this is going to speak to them.
Kind of disagree with that just a little bit. 'Cause
Okay.
I do think I think we live in a spot where we're like we game on a PC or we have our consoles right next to our PC, so we're always on Discord.
Yes.
I have friends that were really excited who play on PlayStation when Discord got added to PlayStation, and they use that function regularly. So I think for those people that also get a Switch, this will be sort of a welcome feature for them as well. Not as nice as Discord because you can connect to PC players when you're doing that, but I think Switch wants Nintendo likes having everything internally, so that makes sense as well.
Yeah, they definitely like to control everything, which is definitely what this is. Yeah, there's there's obviously a fun, meaningful moment at the moment going around for the screen sharing that was running about 4 frames per second. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the biggest letdown for it is they showed a feature that already clearly isn't that powerful, and that sort of worries me about the entire system, you know, like I don't know. It's just one of those things that's in the back of my mind. Again, this was meant to be, or this is, you are selling me this console. I need to invest money in this, game prices, and all that good stuff, right? And then you show me a feature like this, and it's already like, oof, that does not look good. What, are we going to get an update that fixes the frame rate issues? I don't know. I don't know. It worries me a little bit, but hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm being a little bit apprehensive about my thoughts on this. Despawn, what do you think of Game Chat?
Again, not for me. It's definitely not built for me. But I'm with Crash where like there are people that this is custom built for. There are people who just plug in their console, put it under the TV, and only play games that way. So this is like a perfect addition to that. But yeah, like I say, for the people that are like us, where we are like directly connected to our PCs like 90% of the time, it's like it's not a feature I'm going to use. But again, it's a nice addition, and like I said, like right now it doesn't look great for like the game sharing, but that's something that they can improve in the future. You know, software updates are there for a reason.
Yeah, we're gonna need them.
We hope.
If we're gonna roll that frame rate, we're gonna need them. Let's talk about games. We got some launch titles, obviously, for this system, which is huge. The big one being Mario Kart World. We've got things like weather changes, off-roading, open worldness, and supports up to 24 races. Crash, what did you think of the first showing of Mario Kart World?
I liked what I saw. I didn't get to see the whole entire thing, but I liked what I saw. It looked like an improvement over the Mario Kart we know. I think it's hard for them to mess up Mario Kart, so I'm excited. This is probably the thing I'm second most excited for game wise that we've seen. I really like the way it looked.
Despawn?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what could have been the first one, but we'll get to that. I'm really excited for this one. Like, I think the new additions that they're bringing to it, obviously making it more of an open world like title. but also bringing that classic Mario Kart to the series. I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. It seems like a really cool, like more of a social game than anything else. So yeah, you could just hang around in the world and just drive around and go take photos with your friends. But yeah, no, I'm super hyped for this one. Like this would, if this does become a day one for me, this is going to be the title that I'm playing the most of, I think, at the beginning.
Yeah, this is definitely what they are selling this system on ultimately, because it's the day one launch title, package deal, which we'll get into it in a little bit. I really liked what I saw of Mario Kart World. Honestly, I'm a big Mario Kart fan, have been since 64. Open world is fun. I like the idea of still driving along with other racers, going to other races. It feels more, I don't know, like you say, it feels different. It feels different for Mario Kart, which is nice because I'm always, like you just said, Crash, how do you mess up Mario Kart? You can't, because if you play it safe, everyone's gonna love it. It comes out, oh my god, it's more Mario Kart. They've tried something different, and I have to respect that for a game series that they didn't have to try something different. They could have slapped 9 on the front of this, and we all would have been, oh my god, it's amazing. It's Mario Kart. 10 out of 10. You know, Game of the Year award nominees. Let's go. They haven't done that. They've tried something different. They've made some very, very different changes. And yeah, I like it. There's grinding, you're Tony Hawking on a car and stuff like that. Like it's different. It's different, and I like it for that. So yeah, very excited. The big thing we got to see during this as well was kind of the backwards compatibility and how Nintendo were going to handle it. We always knew they were going to have games that you were able to play on the Switch too, but they've come out with this new enhanced edition sort of upgrade system for a few titles. We got the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party, and a few others. How are you feeling about paying to upgrade for your games to look better and have HDR support and things of that nature? D-Spawn, we'll start with you, brother.
Don't quote me on this, but I think I saw somewhere that online subscribers get free upgrades. I don't know if that's 100% true though, so I'll have to double check.
Nah, that can't be true. They would have said that, surely. I
don't know. There's a lot of information they didn't share. Like they didn't share the price and anything like that. So they've been very bad at sharing information within this presentation. So, but in regards to that, like, I mean, companies are already doing it. Like how many, like the PS5 upgrades for PS4 games? It's a thing that exists.
Sure.
It all depends on the cost. Like how much is that upgrade? If it's more than £10, $10, whatever, I'd be a bit like put out. But like again, we've seen that with many other companies, so I don't see it being a major issue. And it does look like they're adding some genuine new features, so like the mouse controls for Jamboree and things like that. So it's not just them like just say, here's some shinier graphics. They're actually updating the games to support the Switch 2's unique capabilities as well.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got a companion app, which is like an interactive wiki thing, and some other bells and whistles as well. Crash, how are you feeling about paying to upgrade for enhanced editions?
It depends what you get with the upgrades, as always. I think I'm kind of in the Despawn camp with this, where we've seen this before. It's been done before. There's bad ways to do it. There's good ways to do it. And it's a game by game basis as opposed to like a blanketed statement of I dislike this or I like this. I'm pretty sure Jamboree the upgrade for that one is free for everyone if you own the version already.
Nope. You have to pay.
I don't believe so.
You have to pay. Because it's got like a new section on it as well. It's all every enhancement you had to pay. They said that during the showcase.
Yeah, Bowser Live, I think it's called. Yeah.
That's it, Bowser Live. Yeah, that was it. Which has this new camera feature.
If they add enough, I'm cool with it. I have no problems with it. Yeah, I think that's my sort of sentiment. They have to add enough to make it worth whatever price they put it at.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with you both. I think it's hard, right? Because they showed games that I don't necessarily, are not necessarily in my wheelhouse that have this, obviously. But as soon as I saw the Mario Party one, I was like, oh yeah, take my money, it's fine, no problem. But I think it's like that, right? It's going to be a case by case basis. I'm not going to buy it for a bunch of games I don't care about, but for something that I do care about, I'm probably going to give up the money in a matter of seconds, which Nintendo are very good at taking all of a sudden. Very good at taking. We didn't talk about the camera, so let's talk about that a little bit. This is kind of one of their new features, and I find it, obviously we started off as an Xbox channel, so I find it super interesting to talk about this new Nintendo camera. So we've got a microphone built in to the Switch, to the Switch 2. So something that can always listen to you, is always listening, is always on. We have now a peripheral, which is the webcam, that can be always watching you while plugged into the system. Hey, it's 2025 and people seem to be okay with it now, because they certainly wasn't with the Xbox One. How do you feel about this camera? How do you feel about this camera? Chris, we'll start with you. You liking the camera? You want everyone to watch you while you're playing games?
No, I like this about as much as I like Xbox's camera.
Look, don't disrespect Connect ever. How dare you? D-Spawn, what are you thinking about the camera?
I love my Connect. How dare you? I mean, cool. It's a nice. This is more of a gimmick than anything else for me. But again, it is, and I said it with the game chat stuff. It is a feature not aimed at me. I'm not the selling point for this. Like, again, if I want to be on camera, I have Twitch. I'm good. I've got my SLR. I'm fine. I don't need it. Yeah. The thing I do like is the camera's relatively cheap. I think it's like
£50.
£50 for a USB-C camera. And I do believe that it supports other USB-C cameras. So it doesn't have to use the Switch one. So if you've got one lying around that already is a USB-C camera, good for you. You're good to go. You could probably get a better camera look than the one that they showed today. But yeah, again, it's fine. It's a gimmick to me more than anything else. But it's like, if you want to use it, great. But it's not a selling point.
Reminds me of iToy. Like, that's what it reminds me of like back in the day, the PS2 iToy is like, oh, this would be cool for like the first couple of times I use it, and then after that, I'm gonna be like, why did I spend the money on this? Why did I bother? But yeah, very cool. Let's get on to more games. Obviously, we've spoken about Mario Kart World. We've spoken about Zelda with the enhanced features. We got a new Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is the new 3D Donkey Kong game. Looked very cool. I've never been a Donkey Kong guy, ever. Like, when I say this, never, ever, ever have I been interested in Donkey Kong. I actually watched this and was like, this actually looks pretty cool. That's the one thing I'll say about so far with Nintendo specific games, which has got me hyped. It feels like it is games that we've seen before. We've seen a Donkey Kong game, but done in a new way. We've seen Mario Kart before. It's done in a new way. This Donkey Kong game, it looked like you were just digging around anywhere on this goddamn map. You're picking up pieces of the ground, throwing it at people. Like, it looks cool. It looks different. And that's what I'm here for. Give me these characters that are iconic and we absolutely love, but give them to me in a different way. Something we've not been able to experience before. That's what a new system should do. And I feel like we haven't got that with the PlayStation 5. We haven't got that with the Xbox Series. Nintendo seem like they have got that with the Switch too. Some cool experiences. So I'm super hype on this one. Chris, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've always been a Donkey Kong fan, and so seeing this, I've talked about it, not the biggest platformer for some reason. Donkey Kong holds a special place in my heart. I like the look of this. I thought it looked cool, interesting, unique, which creative is the thing that I'm thinking of, and Nintendo usually does that very, very well with their Mario titles. So I'm excited to see something like that come around for Donkey Kong in a 3D aspect, which I don't remember the last time we've gotten a 3D Donkey Kong game.
Nope, me either.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of people who have been out there talking about Banjo-Kazooie for the longest time, right? It's like, hey, there you go. You got this instead. Enjoy.
You got banjo but bananas. No, I'm hyped for this. It reminds me a lot of Odyssey when that dropped. So Super Mario Odyssey. It looks like, I don't know if it's the same engine, but it definitely looks similar to it. Like, it's got those vibes. I like the destructible environments. I think it looks fantastic for that. And yeah, no, I'm hyped for this one for sure. Like, again, like you say, it looks like it doing something unique with it. And yeah, definitely a good selling point for the Switch 2.
We got I think it's a great time to talk about a release date for that, which was July 17th. It is going to be priced at $69.99 US, which should be interesting. And yeah, I suppose we should probably go back and talk about Mario Kart World's pricing at this point. Digitally, it is going to cost $80. $80 USD. I'll let D-Spawn start with this one. D-Spawn, how you feeling about the price? For us, it isn't as bad, by the way, just so we're fully aware, which is where we're in this very weird spot right now, where we have a very 50-50 UK US audience, so we always talk about things on both sides. But how you feeling? How are you feeling about Americans having to pay $80 for a Mario Kart World?
Haha, suck it. No, I mean, let's just say it is what it is. Real world politics and all that. It's tariffs, right? It feels like it's no. If Crash is shaking his head.
Yes.
Donkey Kong costs $70, $69.99.
Yeah, it's
You
cheaper
can't say
in
it's
the UK.
tariffs when
It's cheaper in the UK digitally. It's like £53.
Yeah. As I say, it's a cheaper game overall, though.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And Mario Kart World is £65, I think, in the UK.
I believe
digitally.
So, yes.
So it is cheaper. It is like it is quote unquote cheaper than it is in the US version.
Got it.
But $80 for World.
A lot of money. Better be a good game.
Yeah, I think that's where I come down on it. I think there's definitely a bigger discussion to be had here, which is Nintendo have just disrupted the way we pay for how much we pay for games. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Nintendo, out of all people, have been the one that have come out and gone, we think our game is worth this. You can take it with tariffs and things of that nature, but that's what we have to charge. This is what it costs. $80. And if you do not think that is going to have a knock-on effect throughout our entire industry, you are nuts. Don't care what you say. Krish, how are you feeling as our American on the podcast? $80 for a game.
I'm glad it comes bundled. That bundle's looking really nice.
Yeah. Does the bundle make it like $50 then?
Yes.
Yeah. If here's the thing, if I were to buy the Switch 2 without the bundle, I would not get Mario Kart 2. Is my perspective on it. I think 80 is like a price point, which is unfortunate because Nintendo games also don't go on sale. So I don't know when I would get Mario Kart.
So do you think there is there a bit of that involved in this as well, which is like, hey, we want to push bundles, so we are gonna charge it at a lot more as well, just for that reason as well? I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume it's also to I would assume there's the bit to push bundles, but also it's like you can do that with Mario Kart because most people will buy Mario Kart regardless.
Yes.
And it's going to sell like hotcakes. And it makes it when a Donkey Kong comes out and it's $69.99. Oh, that's fine. It's cheaper. There's a difference in quality there, or not necessarily quality, but like expectations, I guess. I think business wise, it's a very smart move if Nintendo was going to do it with the Mario Kart. I just 80 is a lot. It is a lot for a game.
It is. It is indeed. A couple more to go through. Sorry, go on, Deuce. Look like you had something else to add on, please.
I was going to say, does this feel like Nintendo are also trying to kill the physical market as well? Because they're advertising that all of their games are more expensive physically, right off the bat.
No, I think that's a big part of like tariffs as well. It's like where you produce the plastic, where you produce the cartridges, where you produce stickers, where you produce inserts, things of like. Look, I don't want to. We're not a political podcast, so we're not going to do all that. But you understand the political landscape we're in when it comes to gaming and just tariffs and things like that. So yeah, I think it's part and parcel with it. I think it's them. They're getting prepared for it because Nintendo are obviously someone who I own every single Switch game I own is physical. Like I've always been a Nintendo is a physical thing that I want to own. So I think they're trying to prepare the audience for something different as well, which I don't think is a bad thing to do, if I'm honest.
No.
Yeah.
If you want to be optimistic with it, you could say that they're also looking at like the production costs to make the physical and all that, and they're like, digital, we can call that out if you want to be optimistic about it, you know.
You keep doing that, Crash. You keep doing that.
I want to be a Nintendo show now. That's my new thing.
One more first party game we got was Kirby Air Riders. I didn't realize this was a game that had been out previously. I will admit I'm not the Nintendo guy and I'm not a Kirby guy at all. But yeah, brand new Kirby racing game. Thought it was interesting to show off 2 racing games back like in this showcase, especially first party. But hey, people seem to be excited for it, so I'm excited for them. Anyone a Kirby fan here? Only time I enjoy Kirby is in Smash Bros. So, I don't care about Kirby.
I will say, saying that, like the reason to be excited about this is it is being made by the game director of Smash Bros. Ultimate.
And yes, I did see that.
So I guess that's one thing going for it. Other than that, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Same.
All right, let's talk about some third-party titles that are coming. We've got Elden Ring is coming. We have got Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, and a few more that are big. The big one I'm sure we all want to talk about, though, which is the last one. I'm forgetting its name, so I'm sure Kresh will know it. Kresh, do you know what it's called?
Duskbloods, the Duskbloods.
Oh,
That's what it's called.
Dust
I think.
Is that brand new exclusive Nintendo Switch 2 game from software from Soft? Is that one?
Yeah. Brand new exclusive. Definitely not like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne in any way. Definitely not.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. How excited are you?
Very excited. There's some stuff that has me worried about what was shown for a little bit, but I trust FromSoft at this point that the stuff that I have grievances with, I don't really care for. It's mainly the guy flying in the mech suit that just threw me off. I was not a fan of that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a bit put off by that. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So, anything else? Is there anything else that you're sort of like, not sure about that?
No, I think I liked most of the stuff. It looked like you can have abilities that you get from people you kill or something like that. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but it reminds me, it's very Castlevania-esque in that. I think it was, what was the Castlevania title? It was one of the Game Boy Advance ones where you could kill people and then get their abilities and then use their abilities. I forget which one exactly it was, but it gives me that sort of vibe with the game in general, which Souls games have always had a Castlevania about them anyway. Yeah, I like the look of this. I think aesthetically, it's a very cool setting to go for. The designs, as always, from FromSoft are really cool for the most part. I'm very much so looking forward to this. This is probably, if I don't get a Switch 2, I will by the time this game comes out, more than likely.
That's the pull that FromSoft has, and that's why Nintendo threw a bunch of money at them.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. It is crazy. No, yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. I think from the moment it hit the screen, I was like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of FromSoft, where in terms of since I've played Elden Ring for a second time round, and I'm even more excited because it's a co-op game, which is also what I've always said. I think I will love these games even more so as soon as I can play them with my friends. Obviously, we've got a couple of From Software games now going to be co-op. That's huge for me. So I'm sure I will fall even more in love with From Software the more I get to experience these games with my friends. But yeah, I agree with you. Art, stylistic, everything about it looked cool. And people forget, I did play Bloodborne. I did. Just don't forget that. I did play Bloodborne.
Oh, how far?
Oh no, I put this was before, this is not my early days on Twitch. So I put 20, 30 hours into it.
Ooh,
I didn't get very far, but I put 20, 30 hours
time.
into it. Yeah. I remember, yeah. Despawn, how you feeling about the game? Blood, what is it? Dustbloods? Dustbloods.
Yeah,
Dustbloods. Sorry.
Yeah. Not sure about the name, but otherwise, yeah, I'm here for this one. Yeah, like Crash says, I think this would be a system seller for me. I would definitely when this comes out, 2026. They said I will be picking this game up. If I don't already have the Switch by then, I will definitely be buying it out this time. Yeah, no, it looks great. It basically feels like Bloodborne 2, but they can't have the name. If we're being honest, it's Sony on the IP. Let's just make we've got Bloodborne at home.
That's what we got at home on the Switch too.
Yeah. Oh well, now we have it on the beach as well. Yeah, we can play it wherever we want. No, I'm very exactly very excited for this one.
Yeah. So to give it a wrap up, right? We are getting the Switch 2 console. You are getting 2 Joy-Cons left and right. You're getting a Joy-Con grip. You're getting Joy-Con straps. You're getting the dock, high-speed HDMI, AC adapter, and a USB-C charging cable. And that will set you back $449.99 US. If you want to do the bundle deal, as we were talking about earlier, you're looking at $499.99 USD. My big question for both of you, I guess, is: are you going to pick it up day one? Was there enough shown here to say to you, this is a system that I have to have day one?
For me, it's a no. Not until the Duskblood game comes out. I could do without Mario Kart. I'd like to play Mario Kart. Don't get it wrong. But I could also do without that. Play it at a later date, and I'll enjoy it just as much later.
Despawn?
I'm saying no until pre-orders are live and I look at them and I can order it. When I get that pre-order email, so they're doing it really differently. Just to quickly jump into that, they are doing something that's quite interesting to beat scalpers. So you get a priority if you are a Switch Online member, and it is based on game time and how long you've been a member. So if, like me, who forgets to uninstall it every year, I've had mine for like Switch Online for like 3 years now, and I played it a lot because it's my day one Switch. So I've played it a lot. So hopefully I'll get that email on day one. But we'll see. But if we're being honest, if it was easily available and everything, I would say no. I don't think I will. Like Crash says, I don't think there's enough there day one for me. Like Mario Kart is fun, but it's not like a must-have for me. Like I didn't buy the last one. I've not been buying any of the updates and stuff like that for it. And yeah, until we start seeing some of those more third-party games and how they look and play and feel, to make sure it's not a lesser experience on the Switch too, then it'll be a wait and see for me. But when we start getting those like unique selling points like Duskbloods and things like that, that's when I'll start thinking properly about whether I need this in my life.
Yeah, I'm so on the fence about it. I've never bought a Switch. I've never bought a Nintendo device or third party ever. I never have and never will. I play my third party games on my PC or my Xbox or my PlayStation. I will always put those platforms before it, just from a sheer power and graphical point of view, right? This has me feeling, strange. I love Mario Kart so much, and I love new tech. No, they didn't do enough to sell it to me, but I'm probably still going to pick one up day one. And will I use it that much? Probably not. But does that matter? No, because I'm an adult with money. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I'm just like, I don't know, man. I love tech. I love tech, and I love new game consoles. And this is the only game console that's going to come out with exclusives nowadays. Like, don't get me, you're not seeing these games come into PC. There ain't no Mario. There is no world where Mario Kart World is ending up on PC or Xbox or PlayStation, you know? So I think for that alone, I just have to keep supporting Nintendo day one, where it's like, you keep giving me a reason to buy your systems, I'll keep supporting it. So, yeah. All right, boys. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We do appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below if you are going to be picking up a Switch 2 on day one. And let us also know what your most hyped thing was that you saw. It could be the support, it could be the kickstand, it could be this, that, or the other. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another one.